Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Zentangle Explore. I am so excited that you're here to join me today, where we are going to draw a Zentangle pattern really, really slowly. This is an opportunity for you to explore your own way of drawing, and whatever that looks like is perfect. So I have a few pens here. I have a 0.8 micron, can't see that, and a 0.1 micron. But any pen that you have will be perfect. And I have a couple of small pieces of watercolor paper, just small enough to fit on the palm of your hand. So we're going to start with a brief meditation and then we will draw. Super exciting. So get nice and comfortable in your chair. And I'm Esther Piszczek, by the way. Welcome to Zentangle Explore. Get nice and comfortable in your chair, wherever you are. You can close your eyes if you'd like. I'm going to close mine. We're just going to settle in with our breath. Just find your inhale. Find your exhale. And allow everything in your body to just relax. From the top of your head, all the way to your toes. Allow your body to just release any tension, as if you are melting candle wax. Just melting onto your seat, melting onto the floor, resting on the earth, being held, allowing any thoughts or concerns just melt along with any tension on an exhale. The breath is a beautiful cycle. It's with us from the moment we arrive on earth until the moment we leave. Little inhale, little stop. Exhale, little stop. Coming to a place of resting and noticing this beautiful cycle, this rhythmic pattern. Brings our awareness into our body, into our cells, nourishing every part of us, every moment of every day of our grand life adventure. When you're ready, you can bring your awareness to your fingers and toes, perhaps wiggle a little bit. Perhaps deepen that breath. Maybe a slightly longer inhale. A slightly longer exhale. And when you're ready, you can come fully back into the space that you're in individually. We're creating collectively. Know that whatever you create today on the paper, on the page, in your life, will be perfect exactly as it is. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. Okay, let's try. Okay, technical difficulty. Let's try this again. Here we go. All right, so I have pens. I have a 08, which is a little thicker. I have a 01. I have a brush pen I haven't used before for this, and we'll see if I pick that up today. So you can have a multiple pens and little pieces of paper. This is watercolor paper, but you could use cardstock or an index card or an envelope. Whatever you have on hand will be perfect. You can use color if you like. Okay, so we are going to start out. This pattern is called Falldance by Beatrice Aronas. She's a certified Zentangle teacher in New York. And the goal of this class is to draw really, really slowly. To breathe and to draw slowly. So we're going to start out with a line, a nice slow line. Mine's got a little curve in it. That's perfect. At the top, I'm going to do a U-turn and come back in the opposite direction, creating this little stem. I'm moving so slowly. I can feel the bumps on my watercolor page. I'm just going to connect back to the beginning. I'm going to draw this leaf type shape, and it can look however you want it to. And it's wide where it connects. So notice that it's wide where it connects. I'm going to draw another one. I'm going to change the shape this time so you can see a different shape. I'm just going to add these little leaves along the stem. Nice and slowly. And then I'm going to aura, and aura, A-U-R-A, is just a line that mimics what came before. I'm going to add this little aura, and at some point, I'm going to add a little jig to my line. And you can add 1, you can add 2, you could add 3 or 6. We're doing this aura with these little shapes that come off of the aura, creating little spaces or little bubbles. Nice and slowly. Just find that breath. Breathe your line onto the page. Watch the ink flowing so gently. Allowing whatever's happening with your pen to just happen. What I love about Zentangles, there's no erasing, there's no mistakes. Everything you draw absolutely everything you draw is an opportunity to explore something new. This class is all about exploring. And so now that you know the pattern Falldance, you can draw it in whatever way speaks to you. So I'm going to draw my second one here behind. I want to show you how to draw behind. So I'm going to overlap these a bit. Is starting my stem line where I know that I'm going to run into my first pattern. And when I get to that pattern, I'm just going to stop. I'm going to watch where that line goes behind because I know it's there. I just can't see it. I'm going to pick it up on the other side. Draw my little U-turn. And so now you know the pattern. It starts with a stem, which can look like anything. It can be wider, it can be skinnier, it can be curvier, it can be straighter. It's got two sides. Maybe you want to draw an aura around it and it would have four sides. And then there are these leaf type shapes, but they don't need to be leaf type shapes. They can be any shape you want them to be. And then there's an aura. And the aura has a little shape in it. And that shape can be longer or skinnier or fatter or broader. There can be many more of those shapes. So many different ways to alter this pattern once you have the idea of it. You could add a little separating leaf type stem in the center of your leaf. You could decorate your leaf. You could fill it with orbs. You could fill it with color. There's no wrong way ever to this exploration. And if when you're done, your Falldance looks maybe nothing like what we started with, bravo. So exciting. It means that you have truly explored in your own way to make this pattern yours. Drawing in this way is all about trusting. Trusting the voice that says, hey, what if you do this? What would that look like? What if you did something super wild and crazy? It's nothing like what the teacher suggested. What if you do that? And then you do it. You try it. You experiment because you can. You have a pen and you have a piece of paper and you have this beautiful time with your breath to explore anything that wants to be explored. No consequences. Just breathing and allowing and drawing. watching the ink fall onto the page. And then something happens where you think, oh, gosh, no, I don't like that. That's not what I wanted. It's not what I intended. My pen went off on its own. That is a beautiful opportunity to embrace what just happened and look at it with fresh eyes, to drop any criticism that might be popping up into your awareness, and to say, wow, I never would have done that had I thought. I wouldn't have thought about it. It just wouldn't have happened. Now that it's here, what can I do with it? How can I play with it? How can I explore it? How can this so-called mistake, I thought a moment ago was a mistake, but now I realize is a beautiful opportunity to explore something that I didn't know could exist. And I wouldn't have thought to call for or seek to have it exist. That is where the real magic happens when we embrace those things we didn't expect and we invite them to play with us. So any part of this can have black added to it. A fun way to add black is to practice something called rounding. So I'm going to do a little example of rounding here for you. And that's where you take any type of a corner and you just smooth it out with a little bit of black webbing. So wherever these shapes overlap, wherever these shapes, even where the leaf and the stem, a little space there, a little triangle, add a little black rounding. And you'll notice that pretty quickly, you get a nice bit of grounding that happens by adding that black. You could add a little shape inside, excuse me, inside these little shapes to add some texture, or little funky little porous shapes. You can decide that you want to start drawing on a new piece of paper whenever you like. You can decide to add a new color. You could color in your leaf shape or color in your aura shape. So many different ways, really an endless, infinite number of ways to play with this pattern, explore it, change it. Or maybe you love it just the way we drew it first. And you love it so much, you just can't stop drawing it just like that. And that is perfect too. Just allowing whatever is happening to just happen. You can draw off the page. Always coming back to that breath, finding that rhythmic cycle, allowing it to center you, ground you, bring you back to this present moment. And if you get too many ideas, you think, oh, I want to try this and this and this and this, you can always make a little list. You've got a separate piece of paper on the back of the little card. Play with the shape, the size, thickness of line, the thickness of pen. Any one of these elements is up for modification and exploration. The leaves on one side don't have to be the same shape as the leaves on the other side. That might be a news flash. There's a children's book that I love, Harold and the Purple Crayon. Harold's a little boy and he gets out of his bed at night and he goes off for a walk with his purple crayon and draws the moon and dragons and has a picnic and goes off on these grand adventures with his purple crayon. And I always like to think of my pen as Harold's purple crayon. When I have my pen, I can draw anything that I can imagine. Everything is possible on a blank piece of paper with a pen, no matter where I am. And if your hand gets tense, you can loosen it up, or if you start drawing fast, back to your breath, slow down your pen. We're exploring very, very slowly. Allowing whatever happens to be absolutely perfect. Adding black or thicker lines wherever you feel called. We call it adding creative black. Some patterns like this one are really just line patterns. What's lovely about line patterns is that they give you lots of opportunities for adding your own flair and embellishment through shading or adding creative black or adding pattern. So you could fill one of these leaves with orbs or hatch marks. Really, whatever is calling to you is open to you. And if you're working on watercolor paper, you can always add watercolor either now or in class or later, or marker or colored pencil or crayon. Change to use my brush pen just for fun. See what happens. And even the way that you draw this is up to you. Stem coming first is helpful to give us direction. But then you can draw your leaves and then add the aura, or add the aura one at a time. After you draw each leaf, you can make your leaves across from each other directly, or you can offset them. You can change the width of the connection between the stem and the leaf. My brush pen is old and it's got a little fray to the edge, so it's giving me a double line, and I am just going to embrace it. That is perfect. It's giving me a little bit of a messy feel to it. It's lovely. Now that I have this big line, I have to really remind myself to slow down. Slow down. Keep breathing.
The double-walled nature of this pattern opens up possibilities for drawing within, pattern within a pattern, from the outside to the inside, which is really fun to explore. Layering. So always coming back to the breath. How slow can we draw? It's always amazing to me when I draw this way that I think, oh, if I draw that slowly, nothing will ever happen. I won't get anything done. I find that I enjoy the process so much more when I slow down. And the lines just pile up on the page. All kinds of beautiful things happen. And I was actually present for the experience, which is the best part. I always find it really fun to take a pattern that I think is so static, like there's no way to possibly change it. When I get started with it, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, there's many ways to change this pattern as there are to change any other pattern. Just like in life, I think things are so set, beliefs about how things should be, or could be, or need to be, and we're really in control of a lot more than we think. It's in control of our thoughts and our choices, about how we respond to things. It's a lot like having a pen, choosing at every moment which line is going to be most pleasing, which space maybe needs a little bit of extra attention, and which what if question I'm going to be brave enough to follow my inspiration and see what happens. If I do that crazy thing that's popped into my mind, what will happen? What will happen in this class is you will have a line on the page, maybe one you didn't expect. That's it. Nothing so devastating. Just an unexpected line on the page that you get to look at with new eyes. It's really fun to play around with different size pens. Like if I do this, what will it look like if I do that? Slowing down, and you find yourself speeding up. Just try to go a little bit slower, just a touch. It just occurred to me that the shape doesn't have to just be on the inside, on the outside aura. It can also be, maybe it's on the leaf. Maybe it's on the leaf as well as the outside. Maybe the leaf is a flower. Maybe the leaf is a circle. Maybe the leaf is a triangle. A leaf can be any shape. Like exploring like this is all about giving yourself permission. Saying, I have permission to do anything I want. And then saying, what do I want to do? What will be super joyful I can do right now with my pen? Because I can, and for no other reason, just because you can. And it's so lovely and fun to layer these. Leave them in and out spaces. Not worrying about whether my shape of a leaf is really a leaf. Just allowing whatever shape comes to come.
Okay, so fast. These are my explorations that I came up with. Yours may look nothing like this. I expect it won't look anything like this. We all draw different things. Ooh, bright light. Okay, thank you everybody. Thank you for drawing with me. If you love this class, I have more videos on my YouTube channel under Esther Piszczek. And I also have interviews there, my show, The Eternal Possibility Hour, where I interview ordinary people doing extraordinary things. And I have some intro painting videos. So lots to explore. And if you love this experience and would like to donate, you can do so at paypal.me/eternal possibility, my business name. So hopefully I will see you next week to draw. Bye.